Now. Okay, it looks like we have the green go-ahead from YouTube, so
real quick as well, are we recording locally?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So anyway, yes, we are recording locally for everyone listening, but we're also broadcasting live on YouTube. This is episode 201. So we had the big 200 last week, beginning the next 100 this week. Today is March 21st, 2019. I am one of your hosts, Inferno217, as always. This week, our special guest in our fourth chair is none other but Predator from the next podcast, also known as the Division Extraordinaire, the looter shooter extraordinaire becoming, right? I mean, a little bit of Anthem, a little bit of Division, but most notably the Division man. We got him on this week to talk about the Division, and it's honestly been long overdue because we've been playing with this guy for a long time, and great guy, so had some awesome points to make, so we want to give him the floor and let him do so on our podcast. So welcome, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on.
And as you can see on this slide right here, remember, in the next podcast gameplay voting, you want to make sure you hashtag vote for Pred. So this week, 4GwQPodcast endorses Predator in the gameplay voting. So make sure you guys go and do that. Also, that voice right there was Italian Clowns. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, man? Just remember, don't forget, vote for Pred. Vote for Pred is vote for justice.
Very good. Very good. True statement. And last but not least, making his 201st straight appearance on this show, it is EPCI Assassin. What's going on, bud?
Hello.
Wow. Dude, I don't think... Is that much different than your usual intro?
No.
Yeah. I used to say, hi.
Okay.
Okay. We should make a rule. He needs to avoid derivatives of low, high, hey there, like... Chuck all
foreign languages from now on. Start saying it like spasiba and shit like that. Jumbo.
Yeah.
You guys are ridiculous, yeah. I mean, Assassin, I know you only change it up like every 100 episodes, so maybe for the next 100, maybe we can maybe change it up every, 10 episodes? What do you think?
I guess. I got one creative, I guess.
Yes. Hold on, let me refresh YouTube right now because I'm getting like a little bit of a indication that we're not live, but we are. I don't know what just happened to my browser. Yeah, so anyway, this is episode 201. We're going to obviously talk about the Division 2, which came out officially for everyone. I know people with, the Gold Edition and some people, get pissed off when people pay to play the game early, but some people have been able to do that in Division. I think it's one of those games that, it could be worth it if you're a huge fan. I'm sure a lot of people that we know, from the gaming community have done that. So we'll get into the Division 2. Everything is fair game. I'm sure that'll be a nice long topic. Of course, we'll talk about Google Stadia, the new cloud gaming platform that Google finally unveiled. We kind of knew this was going to happen, but Google seemingly beating Microsoft to the punch a little bit in terms of giving details on the console, so we'll get into all of those. Also, we will talk a little bit about Halo Master Chief Collection since we didn't have a podcast last week. So we'll talk a little bit about that coming to PC, whether that should be Play Anywhere title, whether people are upset about that, or they should be upset. It coming to Steam, that's a pretty big deal, obviously. And, of course, last but not least, maybe not even last, we may get into it before the last topic of the program, we'll talk about Apex Legends getting its first season 1, with its new first legend and the Battle Pass, so... We'll get into that in just a little bit. People flooding into the chat, welcome. Thanks for coming by and watching the show. Appreciate it. And also, quick shout out to the Inner Circle Network. You can see their logo right in the middle here. We are an Inner Circle Network affiliate, as is the next podcast now. So everyone here is representative of the Inner Circle Network in some way, shape, or form. So thank you for giving us the opportunity to be an affiliate and doing what you do. And go check out Tick Games Network, Clowns was writing for a little bit, then got a little under the weather. Whether you're gonna be back to writing for Tick Clowns, what's the deal with that?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'm still hanging in there by a thread, but we'll see.
Well, they brought you on for, you're now a permanent member. Obviously, you know that, but some people that watch this show may not know that you are a permanent member now of the Tech Podcast. So obviously they like you over there, so I'm sure they want you back to write some comic stuff. I know you said in the pre-show here that you were a little bit flooded with stuff to do comic-wise for, the 4GwQ variant podcast there, 4GwQ Presents, right?
Yeah. And then I was actually, some of the interviews I was working on trying to get for the Tick Podcast, for the Tick Games Network website, so working hard on that too. I actually have a few in mind for there.
Nice. Very good. All right. Well, I guess, without further ado, we should probably talk about this game that we've been playing. If I can get this to work properly. For some reason, it's not working properly. All right, we'll bring it up on Clowns' screen then. Let me see. Why is this not working all of a sudden?
It's because I'm here.
I know, right? I can't get this division thing to work.
Things up
there we go. We got it. we got it. Jeez, I don't know what happened there. All right. Division 2, finally out. All of us are enjoying it to varying degrees. I know Clowns is going to be bringing the hate in just a little bit. But, we want to let Predator get his first words in on this because he is the guest, filling fourth chair. We brought him on. He is, if you can see in the background a little bit, he's still playing the game, as we speak. I know he's taking a little bit of a break here to do the podcast. But he's got it up in the background. He's been grinding the hell out of that game. He was telling us pre-show. Almost done with essentially everything. So, Pred, tell us, man, is it lived up to your expectations? Have you found it, a little more difficult, or is the grind, a challenge for you at all? I know I saw some tweets you made about some hard story missions towards the end there. Do you feel like, it's a good balance of gameplay and difficulty, and just anything's fair game? What do you got to say about the game?
I'm definitely enjoying it. It's a lot more in depth than in the first division. Where the original division left off, this game seemed to pick up at with all the stuff they added in Division 1 at the end. They made it part of this game. So there's no waiting. Typically when you get like a second version of a game, they kind of scale you down so much that they scale the game down so much they don't really add anything else to it that they did in the previous version. This game actually adds all of it. So like there's multiple factions in there. There's people fighting and competing against each other, and I think Ubisoft really mastered the art of extending their games out and making them better as they progress throughout their iterations of them. So I'm loving it. There's some missions here that are difficult. I mean, let me explain how I was trying to play the game first. Because I was trying to play hard. I mean, I couldn't do it myself. I was getting flanked every single place. The AI is amazing. It still do some stupid stuff, like they'll run right out of cover and get shot in the face. But I'm loving the game so far. I think it's really in depth. It has a lot of stuff and detail to it. And I haven't even touched the Dark Zone yet. I was waiting on you guys to get leveled up so we can go in there together.
Dude, I'm working on it. Trying. Working on it. All right, the echo is fixed. Okay, the echo is fixed. Good. Okay, I don't know why it was echoing, but I just changed a quick setting. Yeah, man, I mean, I agree with you. I think it's an awesome balance. I think it's cool that, you can jump in and get, brought up to the level of some other people. I think it's been a little bit ridiculous in my experience seeing some people jump in, Clowns included. Sorry, Clown's going to bash you a little bit here, but jumping in as a level 2 with, like, level 15s and being able to hang or whatever. I think that's a little bit ridiculous, but, like, I see that as more like, the whole powering you up so you can hang situation. I see that more like if you're a level 10, you want to hang with like level 15s. I think that's cool, but like some of these people I've seen hop in and be like, oh,
Well, we figured out the problem for that. Actually, it's the game was designed intentionally to do that, but we figured it out why.
Why?
Well, like so if I join Predator's game or Andy's game and I kill enemies, right? I still only earn like 145 XP. It's if we don't do my missions, like if I don't do, let's say for example, if I was level 8, right? And I don't do my level 8 missions and I go straight to like a level 22 mission, I might earn like 102,000 XP for that mission because that's the normal XP for that mission in general. So if you're like level 8 earn 102,000 XP, you're going to jump like a level or two. I mean, it just makes sense because if you're level 22 doing it, you might be what, like a half a level for that? So you're still getting the same XP. It just looks like you're scaling faster because you're just a lower level. It's easier to climb as a lower level.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen people hop in and be like level 2 and I've been hanging with like my level 22 guys who are like doing the missions or whatever. They'll go down like instantly, pick them back up. They'll go down instantly again, pick them back up. We'll get to the end of the mission. These guys are like leveling up 3 times, and I'm like, Jesus, dude, like this is a little much.
Yeah.
But I mean, at least they can hang like weapon wise, which is kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like at least they can do something. They're just gonna have to be super strategic because the armor, I guess, is it the armor and the health that don't really like level up, or what's the situation with that? Because why do they get dropped like so damn easily?
It's the gear that doesn't really level up. The guns do, but not the gear.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, because like when they advertised that, I figured that like the whole reason they were doing that is so you could hang in all aspects. But then, you know, the first time we played with somebody who was under leveled and they will get dropped like instantly, like by a melee attack, I'll be like, oh, okay, like something's going on here. And it was definitely like the armor and the health situation for sure. But then like they'll pop up and play strategically and bounce back and forth between different cover spots. And, you know, their weapons do some decent damage. So it's like, okay, these guys can come in and do some and help out a bit. But, you know, there have been definitely fewer times than I would expect that I would have to like babysit lower level people, which I like, you know what I mean?
Well, I don't mean to cut you guys off, but let's talk about the elephant in the room. The cowboy is aka Andy, aka Drastic, who not only try to speed level me, but Assassin as well. We were victims of this speed level sham. Andy just loves to go through as fast as possible, mission, control at the higher level areas, just because he wants to hit 30 fast. I mean, that's the way he wants to play the game, but I don't think he realizes sometimes that me and Assassin like to chill, sit back, and do like our missions for our level. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. If I jump in a game with Pred, I'd like to do a side mission that's like kind of in between. I don't necessarily have to do like a level 30 side mission. You know, I just kind of want to like it be in between.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I jump in with you guys. I don't let you guys jump in on mine because I know there's stuff that you guys want to do in the game that I've already done and I want to spoil it for you. So.
Yeah, it is kind of nice that, you know, it lets you do that and like you jump in to somebody who's a lower level and, you know, it scales the enemies up or whatever, so you're not just one-shotting people like in Borderlands. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever played Borderlands. You hop in with your friends or whatever and you're a way higher level. You take like one bullet or you shoot one bullet at like a boss and it'll just like shred into a million pieces. You know, because you're just so way overpowered than the enemies that are there. But Assassin, what do you think, man? Like, I know, you know, sometimes you know, you want to play at the same level, but sometimes it's cool that you're playing with other people that are lower, higher level than you. What do you think about like the whole way it scales up and stuff?
I mean, it's nice that like if clowns at level 2 could like join us and play. Like that's really nice, right? But that whole, you know, him earning so much XP, like I don't really like that. I mean, if it was the other way around and I was level 2, and like I would hate that so much. But I mean, Clown seemed like he was totally fine with that.
Whoa!
You seemed totally fine when we were like level 2 and we were like 15 and we were leveling up so quickly, right? You were like level 11 in like a few hours, so you seemed fine. But I mean, personally, Clowns can interject here, but I would hate that. I would.
In all fairness, though, Assassin, I got the same XP as you in Inferno.
I get that, but like going from like 2 to 11 like instantly. Like I would hate that. I hated in Borderlands when someone high level would come in and just like boom, I'm level 50. You know, I would hate that in any game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I mean, that's just my 2 cents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's it's cool in one aspect and not cool in the other for a lot of people. I know a lot of people are like really, really liking it. It's not like a new thing, so to speak, but I think the new thing is just the fact that people can hop in and play together, and it's not like somebody is either super overpowered or somebody is super underpowered, which is nice. But like that scares a lot of people off from playing these looter shooters where they just don't have the time or whatever, or they want to play other games and they get lost in the shuffle. You know what I mean? And this game kind of lets everyone kind of co-op and exist together no matter the level, and if people can go to individual into each individual game and kind of play their story outright instead of being like forced into playing the later missions if somebody is further on and whatnot. Why is Inferno playing with his nipples? Am I right now? Oh, I was kind of reaching out my shirt for a second. I did have an itch. Yes. I did have an itch, actually. Wow. Good catch on that. All right, what else about the Division? Like, the graphics are insane, right? I mean, you guys all agree the graphics are, like, next level. I played on my Xbox One X for the first time. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I played on a 4K screen for the first time the other night because I was playing on my 1080p monitor, and wow, I mean, this game just looks unreal.
It put a lot of depth into the design of the levels, too. I thought that a lot more they did in the Division 1, just like the verticality, like going underground, going on top of buildings, like that was in the Division 1, but like the environment seems so much more fleshed out than it did in the first Division. As far as like how the city looks, they did a really good job on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think I know Clowns is gonna come in here and say that that it looks just like the old game, but I totally disagree. I think there's so much more verticality, so much like openness. No, Clowns, go ahead. I mean, I'll let you go, but I mean, let's be real. You think that it looks like the first game, right?
Well, the first game actually had a bigger map and it was actually more open. This game is a smaller map. It looks like a copy and paste. Like all the DC buildings look like New York City buildings. I can't distinguish the difference. Yeah, I really can't distinguish the difference.
One question. Where was the White House in New York?
In Staten Island. Paul Castellano lived there. It was a mini
Was
White
that
House.
in Division 1, though?
I think it was supposed to be, but they never expanded.
Here we go. Here we go.
So if you like glitch your camera or whatever and just kind of float it over there, you'll see it, type of a thing.
Yeah, but this White House don't even look like the White House.
Sure it does. What do you mean?
When you go inside,
it
looks like a bunch of crap. Like, oh look,
it's taken over by the clans that are there.
Everybody
it's not supposed to be like
stuff.
pristine. Think of this, like military story here. So like when I went to Iraq for the first time, I went to one of Saddam's palaces. It looks nothing like it was supposed to look when Saddam was living there, right? It had been raided, looted. There's like, debris everywhere, dust from bombs hitting it, bullet shells and shit in the walls. Like that's what they did with this. They didn't want it to look like DC. They wanted it to look like a terrorized DC. So I think they did a pretty decent job with that. It's not going to look like the White House. It's supposed to look like a tormented, captive that's been like taken over by ruthless gangs, trash everywhere and fucking debris and been bombed out and like a looted house. That's what the White House looks like in this game.
Right.
I mean, if you're expecting it to look like the president is sitting in there like waiting on, to sign some paperwork, then, it's not going to look like that.
Yeah, I don't think the devs were allowed to just walk around willy-nilly in the White House to take pictures.
See, so let me see if I can.
Yeah, go ahead, Clowns. Go ahead.
I'm going to try to share this with you guys. But the Tot Hill Staten Island mansion is what this one looks like. And you just add a big, like, dome cap to it, and it'll look identical.
If you say
in front of you. You got to know what I'm talking about, right?
I mean, I know what you're talking about. I don't necessarily think I agree with it, but I mean, I think
it's a video game.
I think So,
to me, it looks the same. Like the characters, copy and paste, looks the same, except their AI is smarter.
Oh my god, the AI is so much smarter on this one.
I can agree with that, though. I can agree with that. It's like they just took everything from the Division 1 and just put it in a new backdrop. But I said that earlier. They basically enhanced the Division 1 and made it what it should have been in the first place.
Right.
All inclusive in one game at the very beginning. So they just picked up where they left off.
And in my personal opinion, I think it should have been expanded DLC for the first one. And they should have kept the winter backdrop. Like, I don't like the spring backdrop and the murky water. I think it looks stupid because half the time you're walking through the murky water and you can actually walk through it. But I would imagine in my head, if there was a catastrophe and the sewage system wasn't working properly, there'd be backups and murky water would be sitting there, like rivers, flooded streets. And you don't see that. You just see like this murky water and you could stomp through it with your feet. And it's almost like you're Jesus floating on water.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Is that all you have to nitpick about is the water and not having shit rolling around in it?
And I just think, in my opinion, I think the streets are too cluttered with like buses and cars.
Well, they had to evacuate. You know, there was evacuation, and people got killed, and
there you go,
crashed.
But in the evacuation, every single car went on fire.
I mean, it could have.
Have you seen like a city? Like, think of like movies you've seen where this shit happens. Like, there's a mass evacuation. It's straight chaos. Like, cars are fucking like what movie was that? What was it? The 4th of July movie, Independence Day.
Independence
right?
Day. Yep.
Like there were I'm using that as an example, but there were cars that wrecked into each other. Like there was shit on fire, people looting shit. Like even some of our biggest crises here in the United States, like Hurricane Katrina. Like there was it was chaos out there. Like, and that's exactly what they're trying to emulate here. Complete chaos in a city that's been evacuated because of whatever reason. So, if you're expecting it to be like cars parked on the side of the road and in perfect order, parallel parked and shit, like it's not gonna happen that way.
I mean, to an extent, I agree with you, Predator. I mean, I'm okay with some cars piled up, but it just looked like every single bus I've seen caught fire. And I think if this was realistic, like let's say Hurricane Katrina and the buses were evacuated, not every single one of them caught fire. Some of them may have floated down the street, but none of these in Washington, D.C. floated down the street. They
but there's no rivers right down the middle of Washington.
But see, the sewage system would have overflowed. Technically,
oh my god,
in reality,
here we go. Jeez.
All right,
in reality.
For all intent and purposes, keep in mind this is, I think, a year after the division, like after the money thing happened. So,
right.
Just, I mean, think of Walking Dead, if you've ever watched that show, how it looks when they walking through Atlanta with everything overgrown and stuff like that. Like there's no one out there cutting grass and stuff. So,
right.
But the cars aren't on fire.
Well, I mean,
you're not seeing every car. You're just seeing a small section of cars.
But there's something I really like about this game.
Okay, go ahead, yes.
I am having fun playing some of the missions. I think some of the missions are well thought out, like the aerospace stuff. The museum missions are really cool. I like. There's a lot of like hidden messages in the game, and you gotta look for it. But there's a lot of anti-capitalism messages in this game, and there's a lot of messages against anti-vaxxers in this game.
Like.
It said no reality, no hope, no freedom. Anti-vaxxers is the cause of this. Was another message.
That? I remember you telling me about that when you saw it, and I was like, dude, where did it say that?
Yeah, I uploaded the screenshot to Twitter.
Did you?
It was the first few ambulances you see in the entire game.
Oh, yeah.
The White House.
Yeah, I remember now.
There's a guy with a sign that said, this is the fault of American anti-vaxxers, or something along those lines. Was very similar to that.
Right.
I'm paraphrasing it.
Right.
So I think that stuff's cool.
I think they built the setting really well. I think the setting is great. I know you kind of, a lot of people like the snowy atmosphere better. But like honestly, I think they did this one really nicely. I think there's a lot more variety in this one, honestly. Like I think there's so many different areas that like play totally differently. Like the first couple of areas I feel played so much like the Division 1. And then, you get into like the fourth or fifth area and it's just so much more open and, a lot less cover, and I just feel like they've taken advantage of that a lot more. And like with the cargo, like defending like the cargo transits and like attacking the enemy ones, and like there's so many ways that they've kind of incorporated using the setting as like a means to like not just get around. Like I feel like in the Division 1 I was just running around, not really like using the setting, so to speak, if that makes sense, like in parts of the missions or whatever.
No.
But Shizno Elite in the chat says, I like DC much better. Change of season is nice. I mean, I like the change of season. The change of season obviously makes HDR look a lot better. We'll say that.
Well, also, I think there's a psychological effect with the change of season. You live like really up north, so you get a lot more snow. You see it a lot, right? So you're probably tired of the snow scenario.
Right.
Springtime is probably more refreshing to you. For me, I live in Florida, so I'm tired of springtime. Like I just look at spring as...
That could go the other way too, because I love the snow. I miss the snow in this game, but I'm also welcome to the nice, summertime, springtime.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't mind summertime as long as they had like hurricanes and stuff in the game.
They do have at least rain that shows up.
Yeah.
They have a day-night cycle still. So I mean,
some like
you get that, but
yeah. I mean, go ahead, Clowns. Go ahead, bud.
I was just gonna say, and this is my last thing on this. I think I will say is that I just think it gets too dark. And some of the night missions, like I have a hard time seeing. But other than that, like I am beginning to enjoy the game. Probably like maybe at a 6.57 out of 10 on it.
I love that point you just made, because I totally agree with the dark thing. But whenever I'm playing with Assassin, he always makes me feel like an idiot about the dark thing, because I'll be, I'll just like run around a corner and not even go for a chest or whatever, and Assassin will be like, "How did you miss this? How can you guys not see this? How are you guys complaining?"
Yeah, like I'm playing the game, right? It's nighttime. I'm like I mean, it's not as bright as like middle of the day, but it's like like movie darkness, right? Like you can see everything, but it's nighttime. And I'm just walking through everything. The only time I can't see is when it's nighttime and foggy, which is awesome.
Yeah, I forgot about the fog too.
Yeah, the fog's good. Fog's excellent. I don't know. I mean, like, I can get over the darkness thing, because like I think just the day and night cycle, I think adds a lot to the game. I think the weather adds a lot to the game. I just think they just did so many more things right this time around, even though they've been, I will admit there's a decent amount of bugs.
Yeah.
That the whole bug at the beginning with that they fixed, kudos to them for fixing it already, with the deployables going on a 15-second cooldown right after launching them, and then you lose them. I mean, that was annoying as hell, especially with like the drones or any of like the healing abilities when you're really stuck. That's really, really annoying. Did you run into that a lot, Pred, or?
I think my biggest bug was like I would throw my turret down when I was using the turret, and it wouldn't toss. Like I wouldn't be able to get out my seeker mines or whatever. At first I thought it was maybe because I was putting the attachments on it, and I was too low level. And so when I lowered my level, they worked. But once I put the attachments back on, they wouldn't work anymore. So I think that was a glitch. And every now and then you get some pop in, and you'll get an enemy stuck behind a wall that you can't kill. I've had that a couple of times, and we had to restart the mission. But yeah, it's got a lot of bugs in it. I've seen a few myself that have caused me some pain. I actually got dropped. I got my first, what I thought was an exotic item. I found out it wasn't, but I got my first one, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I got it." I picked it up, and it was just like a key or something. But the game dropped on me right then, and I was like so pissed. Someone I played with later told me that was something else. It was just like a piece of equipment or something. So I didn't feel that bad afterwards.
Me and Assassin were playing. I think maybe Andy was playing with us too, and we got to the end of the mission, and maybe not Assassin. Was Andy playing with us when we got to the end of the mission? There was like literally one guy left to kill, and the guy was stuck on the floor or whatever.
Yeah, it was the second floor, right? And the fire was behind him.
No, that was that must have been a different time. That's not the time I'm talking
Yeah.
about. The time I'm talking about Assassin, you know, in the stairs. Remember, like we were walking up and down the stairs, and the indicator was showing that he was like right under the stairs, and then we had to kill ourselves with grenades.
Oh yeah, that was just. I think that was just me and you. And what mission was that? There was like EMPs on top of the building. You had to destroy three of them.
Yeah.
It was in the news mission, whatever that one was called.
Yeah, I remember that one. So I found out what you can do for that. Like if you have the I forgot what it's called, the canister that shoots out the
the chem launcher.
Yeah, the chem launcher. If you have it on, you can actually the one that actually destroys armor.
Mm-hmm.
You can shoot it into the wall, and it will destroy him, whoever's in the wall. I ran into that today.
Dude, that's next level find right there. Because dude, I was so pissed when we had to kill ourselves. Because then we had to go do all that again. It was just like, oh my god. And I feel like the checkpoints in some of these areas can just like be really, really bad when you have to kill yourself and then redo like a whole section. It's just like, oh man. Yeah. Especially in some of the closer quarters areas, like some areas where it's really wide open, you can hide behind cover and snipe. Like that's totally fine. But then like the closer quarters areas, we have to like run around and do objectives while battling. It's just like, oh my god. What else about this game? Oh, you know what we didn't talk about before we get off this topic? What we should talk about is the year one pass. So year one pass, $40, and a lot of people are saying out there, and I think rightfully so, they're saying to themselves, "What the hell does this thing get you?" Because even I was confused at first. I didn't realize that all of the like chapter DLC or whatever it's gonna come to the game is coming for free anyway. And the year one pass really just gets you like extra assignments and projects and
early
7-day early access and stuff like that. It's the stuff that's already going to be free. I didn't realize it was all of it. I thought it was only some of it. So do you think the $40 thing is worth it? Did you get it, Pred?
Yeah, I did actually get it. And when I bought it, and this is the thing I hate about how they do games now. Like when I bought it for myself, they don't really outline exactly what you get when they ask you to pre-order. Like they don't tell you till later on, And I could have waited, until the last minute to do this, but since I love the game, I like the franchise. I went ahead and got it because I wanted to play it early. But like the extra shit that came after that, like they don't really define exactly what it is, and they do this, and every developer does this. They just say, "Oh, pre-order, get this skin, like get access to this and that," but they don't tell you what this and that is until it's almost time to release the game. So it's a little late in the game for that. But I will say that I'm glad I got it early. However, I still don't think it was worth the $40.
Ooh, okay. I was not expecting you to say that, Pred.
Because I could have waited and just played with you guys, and we could have all leveled up together, or like the skins and stuff they give you. Like it isn't. They give you, I think, 2 outfits, a couple of guns, and early access basically to everything going forward. But it's only for 1 year anyway, and then most of that stuff, with the exception of the skins, which you're not going to use because you want your character to be in your likeness most of the time. You want it to look like you. Mm-hmm. So like I don't really care to put on, a gun that's going to be useless after I hit level 4, or a couple of outfits that I'm not going to use because I want to change my character because you're going to find shit in the city to put on anyway. So that part of it wasn't useful. If they had gave me, I guess, some of the cash that they use in the game to spend on other items, that would have been a little bit better than just giving me, a couple of skins and a couple of guns that I can't use.
Now, Assassin, I know you're a little bit, well, maybe not totally, I shouldn't say that, but you're kind of on the other side of the coin here, right? You think the $40 thing is absolutely worth it, and if you had the cash to just like throw on this game, you would go for it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would go for it, but after everyone talking about it and stuff, maybe 40 is a little bit too much. Maybe like 30, maybe like that'd probably be a good 20, 30, like somewhere in that price range. I think would have been perfectly fine. 40, I mean, seems a little bit excessive, unless they constantly gave you like customization options or daily cosmetic caches or just something, kind of like what Siege does when you get the season pass, you get like a 10% renown boost and stuff like that. If they did some stuff like that, that would be worth it. But I think the most thing that's worth it is the early access to I think it was the specialization weapons.
Yep.
Because we don't know how long that's going to take to unlock.
Yeah, and Boogie makes a good point in the chat. Boogie from a few podcasts now at this point. I see you streaming over there on the ILP stream team. But she says in the chat, got to stay ready. That early access will matter for the Dark Zone. So, I mean...
Yeah, but the episodes, I don't think will drop, exclusive, loot, right? So it would all be in the loot pool of all available for us. I think they even said that the specializations are going to be the things that I think truly matter. And the DZ, not the drops.
Okay, good point. I didn't know that. Shizno Elite says the early access is getting a lot less and less useful, in his opinion, and unfortunately they bank on impatience and I'm very guilty of it. Dude, I'm guilty of getting the $100 version of Forza just to play 5 days early, man. So don't kill yourself. Don't kill yourself on that. I do the same thing with a lot of games, and honestly with this, if I knew I was gonna like this as much, I would have gotten the gold version or whatever. I would have gotten the $100 version of this.
There's a huge problem though with Ubisoft's DLC. I mean, we've seen it with Ghost Recon. We've seen it with Far Cry, Assassin's Creed. It's usually like, oh, great. So you spent $40. Here is 3 small missions, 10 minutes each. Have fun.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, Assassin's Creed Odyssey's 3 DLCs they dropped already have been 4 hours each.
Well, that's the exception.
Well, it could be an exception for Division. We don't know, right? It's not out yet for us to judge, but in the past, yes, I agree.
I am going to say it's not going to be that lengthy. I'm going to stick my ground on this and say maybe no more than an hour worth of DLC.
Well, who knows? They might surprise us. They surprise us with the amount of stuff that's in Division 2 compared to the first one.
I expected all this stuff in Division 2 because they said they were improving upon 1.
Yeah, but they said that for other games. And look at Destiny 2 or Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is not a loot shooter, but
those aren't Ubisoft.
Yeah, but they've promised us things and they could fall flat on promises.
Yeah, Ubisoft has a bad reputation of that, but I think with the Division, they're kind of I think everyone kind of universally thinks the Division 1 got much better over the course of its life cycle, and the Division 2 is just an extension of that, so I think people are optimistic about what's coming from Ubisoft on these things, especially the DLC. So I think if they come out of the gate and it's an hour long, they're gonna be so heckled by everyone. That's gonna be such a bad move by them, that I don't know if they risk it at this point. I agree with you, clowns. In the past, that has been the case, 100%. But now they've kind of built up this. They've built up this comeback reputation. They've built up this kind of stigma that they're doing everything they can to fix their games, with Siege, with Division, with the Assassin's Creed series. Taking years off or whatever to make new ones and all that. They're building up this comeback. Oh, and then Far Cry, you look on the other side of the coin, and with Far Cry, they've just done the same old. So it's kind of what side of Ubisoft can you trust, right?
Well, look at Watch Dogs. Look at The Crew. Those DLCs are huge letdowns.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to me, to be honest with you, the character models in this game remind me a lot of Watch Dogs. So when I think of DLC for Division, I think of Watchdog-like kind of DLC. Now, the first one did drop one really good DLC pack, was the Survival. I really enjoyed the Survival. Mm-hmm. If they come out with a Survival for Division 2, that's one I'd probably buy individually if I could.
Yeah, but let's just hope their DLC isn't a game mode. 2 of the 3 Division 1 DLCs were
just
an
game
empty
modes.
mode.
Yeah.
Yeah, Survival, I forget what the other one was, but I don't think anyone played it. I don't hear anyone talking about the third DLC in Division 1.
Everybody was done with it by then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of multiplayer modes, have you guys even tried like the skirmish or any of those multiplayer modes, the PvP stuff?
I did one match, and I haven't done Dark Zone yet. But yeah, skirmish is you take all your gear in there with you, So it's I don't know, it's 4v4. I'm really looking forward to the 8-player. I guess the raids. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But I've only played that one 4v4, and I didn't really enjoy it too much, to be honest with you.
Man, that's disappointing because I thought that would be like decently good. I thought the way they advertised it was kind of good, like a change of pace for Division. And then, yeah, I mean, I could see it getting a little out of hand if you could bring your own gear in.
Yeah. I think it scales you to people within your same gear set, but I just didn't put enough time into it to really say. I played it a couple of times in the beta and once since the full release, and I don't know. I'd rather grind, right now and go into Dark Zone later, and that'd be probably like the third thing I play later.
Yeah. And the Dark Zone, personally, the fact that they shrunk down the Dark Zones and made them separate areas, I'm actually a fan of that. Like I haven't tried it, I haven't tried it, but I've seen a lot of people playing it, and to me that seems really appealing. I thought the big Dark Zone was kind of, I know Clowns is gonna go against me on this one again. I think the bigger Dark Zone was kind of like, I don't know, not as like hectic and competitive as I imagined it would be. I don't know, Clowns.
Yeah, but the smaller Dark Zones, like there's less landmarks. I mean,
no, I know there's less. I understand. I understand.
If like
they. Go ahead, Assassin. I can say it after you're done.
If there's like a group of douchebags, right? Like you can't like get away from them as like quick as in New York, right?
Yep. Welcome to the Dark Zone, dude. That's the whole point.
Well, I get that, but like sometimes maybe you don't want to be with some douchebags. Like they're being total douchebags. Like they're camping just the entrance, right? And you can't get out, or it's ruining experience for So
okay, all right,
and then you could just go to like the northern part of Division 1 and southern, or and still have fun.
Okay, fair enough. Clowns, what were you gonna say about the Dark Zones?
I think this is a watered down baby version for all the people that whined about the first version, or like, oh my god, I can't handle it, I'm not good enough. So like, here, you can suck with playing this Dark Zone and you'll be okay. Here, we're gonna hold your hand. You want a trophy? Here's a nice shiny trophy for all you criers.
Yeah, but not every Dark Zone section is that. I mean, there's 2 hold your hand ones, and then there's Division 1 Dark Zone section.
Yeah, but it's not as big as the original one, right?
I mean, they're all small, but I mean, there's always that one where your gear matters, and the people who've had the game, since day like whatever, they're gonna like just bend you over and.
Jesus.
I like that though. Like I remember playing Division 1 Dark Zone. I remember that we got some really good loot, and we were about to like evacuate the loot, and all of a sudden we got killed, and that was really exciting to me. Like I had a lot of fun with that. Like I thought that was awesome. I think they should not hold your hand and be like, oh, because you're gonna cry, you're gonna lose loot. We're gonna help you out, make it smaller, make it easier, divide it up, have baby zones for you. They should be like, no, they should do in every mission. Like, if you're walking back from your mission to the White House and you got great loot, they should allow PvP to kill you, and you should be able to lose your loot.
I think they kind of did this because there have been times I've been in the Dark Zone on Division 1, and I didn't see anybody.
Exactly. Yep.
I'd call in, pull my gun up, and call in the helicopter, and no one would come except for the enemies, But I think they kind of did this to kind of push everybody closer together, and then make you fight it out, make you, like you were saying, Clowns, make it a nervous situation where you have to actually give a shit about, your loot and what you're doing.
Exactly, dude. That's the exciting part of it. That's like the adrenaline pumping part of it. I think that is bringing it back to, when Division 2, the numbers drop down, Division 1 rather, when the numbers drop down, like, you're exactly right, Pred. There would be like nobody around you and it'd be like, oh, okay, great. Like, this is really exciting. This is what I was, you're almost looking for a fight, you're looking to earn that kind of stuff. She's no lead.
Well,
okay, Clowns, go ahead.
I don't know. Like, I welcome everybody on here. Let's go back to Division 1 Dark Zone and see if we can find people.
Oh, I'm sure we can now, but in like 4 months.
Yeah. Yep.
Plus with this Dark Zone, like if we stop playing right now and played in 5 years, like we would still have a chance compared to people who played every single day from now until 5 years.
Yeah.
Gotta get, as you say, Assassin, you gotta get good.
Yeah, you gotta get good, but I mean, there's gonna be always that, they know the all the OP things. So like Division 1, it's all the bleed effect, right? So you could get into a guy with an SMG with bleed effect, hold his gears for bleed effect, and you're dead. Like, don't even know what hit you, you're just dead. And stuff like that. At least now you have a fighting chance.
Shizno Elite says he likes how tense the Dark Zone is in Division 1. Well, I mean, if you like how tense it was then, you're going to love how tense it is now. I mean, it's just going to be, what did they say? Assassin, maybe you know the number. What did they say was like the difference in size? I feel like they came out and said that.
I don't know.
Maybe it's like a fourth of the size or something like that. It's like it's way smaller. But it'd be cool if they had like different types of loot in different Dark Zones, It wasn't just like a change of scenery. Like, it's almost like, I can almost see it being like Pokemon, like the Game Boy versions of Pokemon, where it's like, oh, if you went in this area, you'd like, for sure get like a Rattata or like a Clefairy or whatever. Like, you knew like what kind of Pokemon kind of lived in that area. It would be cool if it was like, oh, you go to this Dark Zone and you're likely going to get like shotguns and holsters and, submachine guns. And if you go in this one, you're more likely to get like assault rifles and pistols and, masks or whatever. I think that'd be kind of cool.
Well, maybe they'll add like a cheat code option that you could buy, like a golden pacifier that makes you invincible.
That's not ever going to be a thing. Unless you're a hacker.
Oh man! All right, Assassin. Last word on this, dude. You got any more on Division before we move on to the next topic?
Yeah, I hate that they toned down from the beta to the full game the dialogue of some of these the guys that sprint at you, right? Like the hyenas with the batons or whatever. They're like, where they're like, "I'm coming," and then they said that a lot. Or the guy with the shotgun is like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you," and
yes,
dude, shotgun you. Like they don't say that.
Yes, what happened?
Really?
Yep, I agree.
Did someone complain about that, or did they take it out of the game, or what?
I don't know. I was just surprised. Like I think I heard the hyena guy lady was like, "I'm coming," and then I'm like, "You don't hear it anymore." I'm like, what?
Yeah. I was playing today, and this guy dropped the 7-letter cuss word. I was like, "What? I'm gonna get you, motherfucker!" I was like,
"Oh my god, yeah, dude!" During the beta, when you see some people stream and they just be hiding behind cover and they just repeat it over and over and over, that was funny. Yeah, I'm sure they tidied that up a bit before official release for obvious reasons.
Right.
But
it's like all the dialogues seem to be toned down. Like I feel like the enemies, like they still say stuff, but they don't say it a lot of stuff. And I miss that because I mean the enemies would be communicating even if they're AI and like just like we're communicating.
All right. I think that's it for Division for now. I'm sure we'll talk about it again on a future podcast. Of course, we'll be continually playing it. It is one of those games. Let us know, of course, on Twitter or in the comments below. Let us know what you think of the game. Our Xbox handles have been, our gamer tags rather, have been cycling below our images here on the video version of the podcast. So if you want to ever hop in with us, I mean, it's pretty fair. It's a pretty fair game with us. I mean, we've played with a ton of people already at this point, and we intend to play with many more. So hit us up if you ever want to play. But I mean, don't lone wolf essentially, because we probably won't like that. All right, let's move on. Next topic. This is Clowns' favorite topic of the week, I think. Cloud gaming, right, Clowns? You're ready for cloud gaming to come. I mean, you've been talking 5G, you've been talking the viability of cloud gaming, you've been talking about hacking, PSP to work on, outside of the home with like cellular connections and all this crazy stuff. So, dude, what did you think of this announcement? I mean, 10.7 teraflops, anywhere. You can play anywhere through Chrome browser. Use whatever controller you want, up to 8K, 120 frames per second eventually, but out of the gate it's going to be 1080p 60. What do you think, Clowns? What did you think of Google showing? Did it surprise you a bit or what?
Hallelujah. The future has arrived, and the angels from heaven have brought down 5G and game streaming. That's how I feel right now. Guys, that is how I feel. I'm so excited for this. I think it's going to work. I think there's a lot of naysayers out there that are really concerned about it, that are upset about, moving from physical to digital, but you don't have to move from physical. It is still optional and probably will be for at least the next generation or so. And in areas where there is no good connection, you will probably still have physical even longer. I think this is for people that want to adapt to a future, to a clutter-free workspace, that are excited for something that's fast, on, easy connection. I mean, just connecting to turning up your Stadia or turning up your xCloud, you could play games like almost instantly. You don't have to put a disc in. You don't have to wait for a hard drive to go. I mean, it's just going to be like, bam, right in front of your face. Let's play this thing.
Wait a second. What does the hard drive do again? I missed that one.
Might need a new hard drive.
Okay, yeah, you might need to get that thing checked out. I mean, you may have like a Toshiba or something. But man, I agree with you on that front, dude. I mean, they were talking about like 5-second startup times from like the browser window not even being open to opening the Chrome browser, hitting the play button, and getting right in your game, or like being able to jump into like any spot in the game, like save states. Essentially on emulators, like that is really, really attractive, I think. And if they can pull it off without any lag, I think it's going to be a big deal. But we'll see what Microsoft does. I mean, obviously Phil Spencer has responded to this showing. I don't know if you guys saw, but Phil just essentially said, Google went big during this presentation. We're going to go big at E3. So he's very confident on what they're going to show with the xCloud, perhaps even better than what Google showed. But Google, I know, impressed a lot of people with this presentation. And, go ahead, man.
In all fairness, too, Predator and I were both in the Project Stream Beta. And I believe, if I'm correct, he liked it just as much as I did.
Yeah, I did. I wasn't going into it with a closed mind thinking it wasn't going to work. I went in thinking, okay, let's see how it plays. And I did a video on my YouTube channel and showing me playing the game. And like I didn't experience hardly any, if any at all, input lag playing the game. It's just, I think, coming into something that's more multiplayer focused is where the issue will be coming later on, especially if you're playing like with guys with built up PCs and stuff like that. But I didn't have any problems with Assassin's Creed at all. It played exactly the way it should have played when I was playing on Xbox.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, for the single player stuff, I think this is going to work perfectly fine. I mean, obviously, it's not going to be, a lag-free thing. Obviously, data going to and from takes time versus like data going over your HDMI cable from your console below your TV. But I mean, for a lot of single-player games, people are playing on TVs that give you input lag and they don't even know it. Some of these like lower-end 4K TVs that people are snatching up, some of these like lower-end TVs in general that people are just grabbing for ridiculously low prices, and if they don't like put a game mode on, or it has a lot of input lag, you will be playing on a TV that has a lot of input lag and not even know it, and people will just be used to that kind of thing. So that's a fair point. I think people will just get used to it and go in with an open mind because it is the future, and people want to, they know that. If they don't like it, they probably, eventually are not going to have many options. I mean, I don't know when that's going to happen, when physical will eventually die, but I mean, you're going to have to embrace it probably at some point. And Shizno Elite says, I wonder how well multiplayer will be. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, the latency And that's why Clowns has been like the biggest fanboy of 5G on planet Earth, because the latency is just so low.
It's in real world tests from the bottom floor of a high rise in Chicago on Motorola 5G with T-Mobile tests and AT&T tests, 0 to 3 milliseconds latency, even on 4K streaming. So I mean,
yeah.
It's gonna be good, dude. No worries at all. Don't worry about it. It's gonna work. And even with Project Stream, I think the latency in multiplayer is only going to be your ISP. It's not going to be the Google servers or the xCloud servers or your little set-top box. It's going to be between your TV and your ISP. So go get yourself a good ISP or sign up to 5G. And like Inferno said, get yourself a good TV.
Yep. Or a good monitor or a good phone. I mean, you can just play this thing on so many devices, and it's, we heard a little bit recently, I think it was even as recently as today, that Microsoft did a presentation on xCloud at GDC. Didn't spill the beans completely in terms of like content partners or anything like, or pricing or anything like that, but they talked with developers about the advantages of xCloud, and one of the advantages was the fact that I don't know if Google is going to be doing this, but xCloud is going to tailor the game to each device like perfectly. You know what I mean? It's not going to be like adapting. It's not going to be like, say you have an Xbox One in the cloud and it's playing at 1080p and you have a TV that's 4K and then your TV has to like up-res it, Microsoft's going to have stuff built in where it's like, where it accounts for that. Like it knows what's connected and it accounts for that, in terms of bandwidth and stuff. So that's kind of cool.
With Project Stream, even in the beta, right? So with my ISP, my ISP lagged a little bit or dropped a little bit. So what Google did was they down-resed Assassin's Creed based on my ISP.
Based on the internet, yeah. But I think what Microsoft is talking, I mean, I could be wrong, but from what I was kind of reading a little bit today while in and out of the office at work, was that Microsoft's going to take that to the next level and they're going to tailor it like to the device you're on too. Like if they know your device only outputs at like 720p, or if they know your device is like a smaller screen, they're going to like, recognize that at the cloud level, like at the connection level. You're not going to have to wait for it to get to your device, and your device is going to have to take time to scale it or whatever, you know what I mean? Because that'll add a little bit more input lag. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that's what they were kind of talking about today. I don't know if Google's going to do that. But real quick, let me get to the chat before we get the other guys' opinions on this. Ouchie says, people need to research on one of these podcasts the negative effects of 5G. I've heard some of that stuff. I mean, they got to do some more real world tests, right? Before they figure out if if some of those negative factors really are a thing. But drop some in the chat that maybe I haven't seen, Ouchie, and we'll hit on those really quick. But Indie Gamer wants to know how we think it will work in regards to pricing. That's a nice little segue here. What do you guys think in terms of pricing, like the Stadia thing, not even xCloud, but with the Google Stadia? Do you think it's going to be just the price of the game? Do you think it's going to be like a subscription, like a Netflix thing? What do you guys think on that?
Subscription.
Yeah, I have a feeling subscription also. They can make probably more money from that than a one-time fee.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
It'd be smart to do both. You buy the game, you can still stream it too. But I mean, like they can't. Can they do physical games doing that?
I'm guessing probably not. I mean, that'd be cool if you could like just pop the game into your console and like somehow they figure that out. But I think the whole push is just like leaving everything to their servers at their location, right, Clowns? Or am I wrong on that?
No, I mean, you're right in that. Xbox, there's a rumor that I've heard from some sources that Xbox, when they get ready for xCloud, if you own a disc and you want to convert it to a streaming game, you can actually turn your disc into like a Microsoft store or something, and they'll convert it to a digital game, and that game, of course, will get destroyed or resold, used, however they do it. But as far as Google is concerned, I think, and from some rumors I heard, that Google's going to have both options. They're going to have a subscription-based option with a certain selection of games, kind of like Game Pass, but probably a little less at the start of it because it's kind of new, unless they got a lot of money to throw on like Epic Games. And then if you can buy a full game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey or something, and it'll be in kind of like your Stadia library so that you could play it.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'd be very, very shocked if this thing is like exorbitantly expensive on either side. Like if buying the game, if buying the game is like more expensive than buying a game on your actual hardware, or if like the subscription is like something ridiculous like $30 a month. I think if they price it at like $30 or like $40, I don't know. I've been hearing some weird numbers out there, obviously unsubstantiated, but like I think they need to keep it to like $20 or less a month. Like maybe $20 would be like a good price to intro this thing at, but I don't know, Assassin, what is like your number right now? Like if you could have access to like 4K 60 gaming in the cloud, you don't have to buy your own computer or anything like that, but it was a subscription. Like what is your in number if you're able to like get the third parties and stuff, all the stuff you're kind of used to playing?
Well, I think that they might do some like different tiers. Like I just have a feeling like 1080 will probably be like 20, and I can see them charging 4K for like maybe 25, and then like 30 for 8K, right? I can see them doing something like that, give or take the numbers, obviously, but somewhere around there.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, this thing's supposed to be a beast. I mean, if you look at what we're showing right now, like the Stadia, I guess each instance of this thing is going to have like 10.7 teraflops of graphical power. We've kind of gone away from the teraflops number, right? I mean, NVIDIA came out with the GeForce, or not even GeForce, RTX 2070, 2080, and those talk at like gigaarrays, right? Not even teraflops, but now, this thing's at 10.7. It's got a high-end, CPU. This is like high-end stuff in each one of those servers, so you can definitely push, some very high-end gaming, and maybe there will be tiers, I don't know how they would lock it down or whatever, but maybe there will be like pricing tiers. Who knows? I think it's a good idea though. Pred or clowns on pricing? What do you guys think?
I'm thinking more subscription based. I think there's a lot of ifs with this I don't want to get into right now, but my biggest issue is going to be what games they bring in. I mean, I prefer to play on console. If they could bring something that's only going to be on the Google, and it's something, I don't know, something I really want to play, I jump on it in a heartbeat. But for the most part, I'm going to stick to console. I mean, I'd rather buy my game and keep it and, play it on the ecosystem that I have my friends on right now. But I know they were kind of talking about cross-play and stuff like that too, but how's that going to work with Xbox Live, PlayStation, and stuff like that? So a lot of ifs. They didn't answer a lot of those questions, especially with the pricing thing. I would expect it to be subscription-based.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that at least, if they give the option, I think most people will take the subscription-based option for sure, because, you can try it out, and if you don't like it, you're out. I mean, it could be like a small hit on your wallet, versus if it is like the buying the games option, you buy like a $60 game and it's in the cloud. Like, not only if you don't like it, you've lost the game now, essentially. Digital Foundry did a video about it. Chief Tommy says, I saw the video. I wasn't like super impressed with what they had to say. I mean, who knows until this thing gets out in the wild. I feel like it's going to really, really vary for a lot of people. And that's kind of the thing that sucks about the whole cloud gaming future is that, everyone that has an Xbox One or an Xbox One X or whatever, they all get the same like gameplay experience, at least locally, But now when you put in the cloud into the mix, it's like, it's cool that, it's hosted somewhere else. You have the opportunity to get to that maximum that maybe would cost you a fortune otherwise. But at the same time, the internet connection really is gonna dictate what you can do.
And how's that gonna work with your data plan on your phones and stuff like that? Like,
Yeah, it's gonna kill you. I mean, I think somebody on Twitter said that at least at Netflix, and Netflix compresses 4K stuff a decent amount. Like an hour of 4K video is like 5 gigs of data. On Netflix, at least. I mean, that's a ton. You know, or like it might have been a half hour. I'll have to look that up. But I think somebody was talking. Oh, go ahead, Clowns. Go ahead.
There is. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
there
please.
is one out. There's one out there now that kind of works from the cloud called Shadow.
Yes.
So, their pricing structure is $29.95 a month if you pay for a year up front, or $35.95 a month if you just pay monthly. So a lot of these other guys that don't have as much support have higher price tiers. So I would imagine with Google and Xbox, I would realistically think for most people to jump on right now, it would have to be between $12.99 to $15.99 a month. And then gradually they could probably raise the price.
Yeah, but if they're seeing another service put it at that price, I mean, they could do it the same thing. Look at Fortnite, right, with their microtransactions, and now everyone's doing like the same pricing model. So, I mean, they could literally just do the same thing, but make it a little bit cheaper or expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll be that cheap, man. Honestly, I mean, this is like some next level stuff right now. I mean, I think that they're launching in 2019, right? So they're definitely saying they're launching this year. They didn't give a definite date or even month. They just said launching in 2019. I think if they beat Xbox to the punch on the pricing details, they'll like totally dictate the market on this. I think a lot of people don't get Shadow 2, Clowns, because that is kind of expensive a month. Like $30 is like, for a lot of people, is like not worth it. It's a cloud game when you can just play your games for like $60 each game, or like if you wait for a little bit, you can grab it on sale for $40. Like $30 a month isn't really necessarily worth it. But I think it's going to be a struggle to keep it that cheap, to be honest. I don't think a lot of people are going to buy in like the second it goes live either. I think a lot of people are really hesitant on it.
Well, I'm thinking this, because Game Pass a month is $9.99 a month, so I would, for people, I think, to jump on and become supporters of it instead of naysayers, somebody's going to have to come in with like the $12.99 to $15.99 price range and be like, look, it includes the Game Pass library temporarily. Eventually the price will increase, probably like, let's say like within 3 months or something, just so they get people on and get used to it. You know, because if they come out and they're like 25 a month, $20 a month, most people are going to be like, hell no, I ain't spending that much right now.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree with that. I think Xbox or Microsoft has the ability to do that cheaper than even though Google's is probably worth more. I would say that Microsoft probably has the ability to have the price lower just because of their experience in this kind of thing. And with the Azure servers and all that kind of stuff that they're probably going to leverage for xCloud, I think they have the ability to offer the lower price. But what if Google comes out and beats them to the punch? Like Microsoft's probably going to announce the price at E3, right? So what if Google comes out and throws out like a $15 a month number, and Microsoft is like, oh wow, we weren't going to do that. We were going to do like $17.99 or something like that. You know, like what is the response? How can they really beat Google to the punch and make it like worth people to jump in from day one? You know what I mean?
Well, in that scenario, and I don't think it's going to happen like that, but if it was, Microsoft can come out and be like, well, you know, Google is new. You know, they may have powerful servers, but they don't have as many games in their library that we can offer you for a couple bucks more a month. I think that's where it's going to be, is like the value for the money in that aspect. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know, like kind of like the all-you-can-eat buffet versus the limited buffet.
Yep. I hear you on that. Yeah, I mean, you go to, dude. We just went away to the Dominican Republic, and some of the like the all-inclusive stuff, it's like, oh, you can have this, but you know, if you want to get to that like that table over there with like all those nice looking steaks and stuff, you might have to pay a little bit more. You know what I mean? It was all-inclusive until it wasn't. You know what I mean? I hear you on that. I hear you on that for sure. Let me get to the chat really quick. Some people saying some stuff here. A comment from a little bit earlier. Sorry, I missed it earlier. Do you guys think there's a possibility that with all these streaming services, they could slice and dice third parties so you'd have to buy all of them to get what you want? I don't even know what that means. Do you guys understand what he's saying there?
No.
Me neither.
Maybe kind of like a Walmart kind of thing.
I think maybe he's talking about like third party doing deals with one side versus like say Ubisoft decides to do third party deals with Google and EA stays with Microsoft, and like, you know, for you to get every little piece of game that you want, you have to buy them on 3 different avenues, or you have to subscribe to 3 different services.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. I mean,
I'm guessing. If I'm wrong, tell me in the chat.
Yeah, definitely tell us if he's wrong in the chat. I think that's kind of like a weird idea. I don't know. I think these companies need to, especially with Google, needs to, you know, they're not a player in the game right now. Obviously the Project Stream thing was a huge success for them, but it was one game. And with this presentation, they had one thing, like Doom Infinite, right? Or Doom Eternal, rather. Doom Infinite. Doom Eternal, the new, you know, the successor to the widely praised Doom game that came out on this gen already. But other than that, I mean, what kind of relationships do they have? We don't even know what kind of relationship they have. And I think these independent like streaming services that may pop out, like the Walmarts and the Verizons and all these like rumored other ones that are coming out, right? They're not players in the game yet, like Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo. They have to do whatever they can to like appease these third parties and stuff. You know, I think they have to like just throw money at them and see what sticks. Chief Tommy says they would have to raise price if they put it in with Game Pass. Oh, so people in the chat are talking about including xCloud with Game Pass. Man.
I don't think that should be a thing. I think Game Pass should be like an extra add-on.
Well, oh, sorry, Brett. If you're going to say something, go ahead.
No. I was shaking my head with what he was saying. As an extra add-on. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, you know, it's an ideal scenario, right? But I've been told from insiders that a lot of this stuff can't be pieced together because it's too expensive. Like, for example, I was like, well, can you guys include Xbox Live with xCloud so that if you own an Xbox Live subscription, you know, you can play it basically anywhere since you're already paying for the subscription on the Xbox? And I was kind of told from some people that those questions were asked, but price point wise, it's not feasible because of all the money and stuff that went into the research and development. Then xCloud would have to cost a little bit separate. So, for example, and a scenario that was given to me is that maybe if you wanted something included together, Xbox Live would rise by like $20. Mm-hmm, so if you wanted the xCloud with Xbox Live, it'd be like $79.99.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, Xbox Live Gold should just go away. If xCloud people can play without Live, PC players can play without Live, and who knows what in the future without Live.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll do a tier system or something like that, where, you know, you get Xbox Live for $40, you get Xbox Live with streaming xCloud for $60.
Yeah, see, I like that idea. I think we've talked about that a little bit before, and like not necessarily the pricing. I'm not really sure what the pricing would be, but I think that like the Xbox Live core service, they want to charge for that. They could probably like Mike Mullis, Stinger, Next Level Gaming in the chat saying, you know, Microsoft can afford it. Well, if they can afford it, then they can also afford to drop Live to like $40 or $30, and then they can afford to throw Game Pass in for the $60 or whatever. And just make that a part. Like if you want to sneakily charge the same price but throw in like a service, then like do that. You know, show that you have the money to do that. And you know, I don't think xCloud's gonna just become part of Xbox Live. I mean, that would justify the $60 for me. You know,
especially right now with how they're treating PC players.
Yeah. I mean, PC players are getting away with, playing all the Xbox games without paying, and that rubs people the wrong way. I mean, I understand why Microsoft charges for console security and stuff like that, and server uptime and all that. I understand why they charge, and I understand why people do charge for online. But then again, like, there's a lot of people that play PC who've never encountered problems like that before. So it's kind of like, how do you convince those people that they should pay? You're never going to. So PC will always be free.
It's not like a lot of people are playing on freaking the Windows Store games anyway. So
well, except for hackers.
No,
Here
we go. Here we go. Let's see what else is going in the chat here. What about bundling Xbox Live, Game Pass, and xCloud for all one price? I mean, I could see that happening.
I'm surprised they haven't done that yet, to be honest.
$100,
well, not the xCloud,
like EA Access.
$100, nice. $100. Yeah, if they switch to like a yearly price, I think that could entice people. For at least for like xCloud and Games Pass, like together as a yearly price. Like, look at how EA Access has been doing or not EA Access, but Origin Access, right? The premier one, the $100 or whatever. Like, that is a sweet, sweet deal. And
it is. I have it.
Yeah.
I don't use it like I should. Actually, I take that back. I have like 3 months worth from a code that someone gave me. But like, I don't PC game that often. But I was like, wow, this is great. There's a bunch of games I've never played before for $100. I'm down, and then you get every game early.
Mm-hmm.
Like literally almost 2 weeks. I think Anthem came out almost 2 weeks early on there,
mm-hmm.
or something like that. The full game.
Yeah.
Awesome deal.
And of course, like, EA can get away with that too, because like, it is all their own games, and I know Xbox is kind of gonna fight an uphill battle a little bit with like the third parties and stuff on the cloud features. But next, Stinger says you pay $99 a year. I mean, if I could do xCloud and have access to some sort of Netflix library that includes big time third parties, I mean, I would pay like $200 a year. Like, I would pay if I could get like EA games, Ubisoft games, and Microsoft games day one on an xCloud that is like 4K 60 guaranteed. I mean, $200 a year easily.
Wouldn't even think twice, dude.
Yeah.
You know how many games those 3 companies put out a year?
Yeah, easily. And even if you had to like pay a little like upcharge for like like say you got Ubisoft games like 2 weeks later or something like that, and you had to pay an upcharge to get them for the first week, like, I mean, easily. I think there's a lot of people who do it. Chief Tommy says raising the paywall is not a good idea in your opinion. I mean, that's the thing. It's not going to be for everyone. Like, you'll still have your physical games. You can buy them traditionally, and Xbox Live may drop in price, and then that's your situation there. But anyway, all right. Any more on the Stadia thing? Did you guys see that? Actually, really quick, did you guys see that the controller connects via Wi-Fi directly to the server?
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I would use just my Xbox controller via Bluetooth, but like, that controller, as hideous as it is, I think it is very cool that the thing connects to Wi-Fi. And so like, say you like are playing on your TV, right? And you want to like go to the shitter or whatever and play on your tablet, like, you can bring your controller and you're still playing the same game and it displays on your tablet. You know what I mean? You don't have to like, oh man, like connect Bluetooth, oh press the sync button, oh this, that, or whatever, desync it from my TV. You know what I mean? That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
That is actually pretty badass. I just thought about something like, it's almost good that Microsoft, because I think the Stadia, you can use any controller on it, which I'm gonna use this bad boy right here on everything if I do get that. But like, the fact that Microsoft has the controllers you can buy and customize on their store is actually awesome. When it comes to this whole process with Stadia, you can just buy your own custom controller and just sync it to the Stadia. So, because I hate the PlayStation controller, just the thumbsticks so close together like that. That's the only downside I had to their controller. I can deal with everything else that's on there, but like, those thumbsticks are way too close for me.
Yeah, Assassin's favorite controller, DualShock 4, right?
Yeah.
Lies.
Oh my god.
I just love how close the trigger and like L1 and L2 are. Like sometimes I'll push L1 and my finger will actually slip and hit L2 because they're so close. I hate that.
Fastback says, why... What are you saying? Why would they charge xCloud as a separate service? They already have Xbox Live Gold and Games Pass. Well, maybe they won't. Who knows? I mean, it depends.
Good for their investors.
Yeah, I mean,
extra money.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. I mean, it depends on what it includes. Like, is xCloud just going to be the platform and you still buy the games and stuff? Or is xCloud going to be, like, is it going to absorb Game Pass in a way and include, like, more games along with it because they're convincing, third-party companies that they can do that and still be profitable? Obviously, like, with this Google one, Stadia, like, there are going to be no such thing as physical games. You're definitely going to have to buy all digital, and if it's a subscription service, then I mean, there's going to have to be a catalog of games, and they're going to have to sweeten it up for third-party developers.
Random question.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about this till just now, but like, what's to say that a company doesn't want their game on xCloud?
Yeah, I mean,
is that possible? I mean, like, because they don't put stuff on.
Probably.
What were you saying, Assassin? So good.
Probably possible that if they don't want it on xCloud, then they could just stay on Xbox, without the cloud.
Oh man, I just understood what you're saying. I had like a brief mind fart there. So you're saying, like, say for instance, like Outer Worlds comes out and they're like, oh no man, like we don't want that in the streaming service. We want to just sell like unit copies or whatever. But it still comes out for Xbox, but you can't get an xCloud. Is that what you guys are saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Oh man, yikes, dude! Wow, I mean, man, I think they would get shelled if they did that. But I mean, wow. I don't know. What do you guys? The clowns or Assassin? You think that's even possible? I mean, Assassin, you just said you thought it was possible. Clowns? You think that's possible?
I missed some of it because my thing cut out.
Oh, okay. You think it's possible that like some game developers or publishers would say, we don't want it on the xCloud, but we'll put it on an Xbox? Like you can buy the retail copy or like the actual unit game, but we don't want you playing it on a cloud server?
That's going to be a very interesting perspective. It's very possible for bigger developers to push back against Microsoft or any company because they want more money, but then the bigger companies like Microsoft and Google are going to come back like Walmart and be like, listen, we serve your game on so many devices that if you're going to limit yourself to one device, we might as well just not have you at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're going to risk alienating people, You'll never see like indie games or like small budget games do that at all because they just can't. They can't afford it.
No.
But let's see. I mean, man, I'd hate if Ubisoft did that, but I could see.
Or yeah, like let's say they have their own server, like they have their own cloud server individually. Like EA has its own server based, like they have EA Access or Origins Access, and they say, you know what? Because they actually do this for Origins. Like there's games on Origins that are not on EA Access.
Yep.
For whatever reason. Maybe they were never on Xbox to begin with, but like they could easily say, hey, we're going to start our own streaming service right now, and we're going to make the streaming portion of it exclusive to our company.
Yeah, that's the rumor, dude. I mean, I've been hearing that a lot, that EA is thinking about doing that. If this is the thing, like once the ball drops and it's actually viable, because look at the past, like the OnLive, Gaikai, like the Shadow one, even the Clowns was talking about, those ones don't work that well. If Google can prove that it can be done and it can be like sustained, or if Microsoft can prove it and can be sustained, like I see other companies jumping in, man. I mean, what would prevent EA from offering the next tier of EA Origin? You know what I mean? What would prevent them from doing it? I could see them doing it for sure. It's a good point.
Just a thought.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. No, it's a great point. Great point. But yeah, that's kind of like all the Google Stadia news wrapped up into one. I mean, we'll see what the games are like, right? At this point, we don't really know other than Doom Eternal, and they've talked about some partnerships they had. I mean, they talked about their own first-party game development program that they're going to be doing too. Not many details on that, but, it's promising at least. I mean, it was a good showing by Google, I thought. A good opening showing, better than I thought it would be. So anyway, all right, let's move on. In the interest of time, we must move on to the next topic, and we will get to this and talk about this very quickly since this was a little while ago at this point. So Halo Master Chief Collection coming to PC, both Windows Store and Steam. Interestingly, not a Play Anywhere game. So a lot of people saying that's a big deal. Initially, I said that was a huge deal. I thought that was a huge miss on their part to try to get people to get the numbers high on PC and satisfy some of the people that were burned when Master Chief Collection kind of tripped on itself over and over again for the first 3 years it was out. But now I'm thinking it's not really that big of a deal. What do you guys think? Is it a big deal that it's coming to PC, number one, and then number two as well? Do you think it's a big deal it's not coming to Play Anywhere?
I don't think it's a big deal. It's going to not be Play Anywhere. I think it's nice. More people get to play Halo. So, I mean, that's really all I have to say.
Well, I mean, dude, the only reason you're saying that is because your PC is from 1990.
Yeah, but I mean, agreed. But I mean, let's just be honest. The only reason why it's not Play Anywhere is because it's coming to Steam.
Okay, so that's what a lot of people have been saying. I think that's a fair point. Okay, I think that's a fair point. But why would I haven't heard anybody officially say that though. Is Microsoft kind of letting people discover that for themselves? You think because they don't want to say that and they're getting an out here? I don't know why. I think Microsoft and I think 343 has been very quiet about that. Somebody directly asked them about Play Anywhere and they kind of side-skirted the issue. Why are they avoiding it then? Why not just come out and say, listen, we couldn't do it as Play Anywhere because we want to offer it in as many PC platforms as possible. So they want to offer it on Steam and Windows 10, whatever. Fine. Why not say that?
You know what? It makes the Play Anywhere for Sea of Thieves, Forza, and Gears of War look like a joke at this point. It's like 343 saying, haha, you guys got suckered. Look at all your PC hackers. We won't have that problem on Steam. No, we won't have that problem. Those suckers. They're probably sitting there making fun of them behind the scenes. Hey, you hear what Rare did? Yeah, they got PC hackers. Ha ha. That's what I imagine is going on.
I mean, maybe.
The crazy part is everyone knows if you're a PC gamer, you're not buying this on the Windows Store. You're buying it on Steam. So Microsoft's going to get their money off of it in the long run. But the smarter thing financially would have been to put it on the Windows Store, period, and just left it there to kind of boost the Windows Store because they have so many problems with it. I almost think that maybe this is their first step of kind of just getting rid of the Play Anywhere mantra. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And just kind of backing themselves out of it because look at Sea of Thieves. They kind of stopped doing the crossplay with that, and maybe they're realizing this doesn't really work the way they want to because no one's caught on to the Play Anywhere thing except maybe Vermintide, a couple of other smaller games and stuff like that. I mean, and of course they're exclusives, but it's been a shit show with their exclusives on the Windows Store, using Play Anywhere. So maybe they're slowly backing out of this whole Play Anywhere concept. It doesn't seem like it's working.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Clowns. Go ahead, bud. Go.
I got a question for Predator though, because I want to know how he feels about this. So, as somebody like me and Assassin, we got Halo Master Chief Collection for $60 when it launched, right? Mm-hmm. And then they lowered the price because there were so many issues, so many bugs, and then maybe they gave us ODST for free or whatnot. But do you think for the people that paid $60 for this, right, not getting it Play Anywhere is kind of like a kick in the face, or not getting the $20 campaigns like a kick in the face?
Yes and no. I think they should have given us, the other game, with what we have so far, but the fact of the matter is, when this was announced, the Master Chief Collection was announced, it wasn't talked about going to PC, et cetera, et cetera. You bought it to play on Xbox. You didn't buy it to play on PC. Yep. The PC extremists are going to buy it to play on PC because they didn't want to buy it to play on Xbox because they want to buy an Xbox. So, I mean, in the whole scale of things, let's be honest, how many people are going to go out and rebuy this game on PC if they've already played it on Xbox? There's a small small majority of people who love it that much that are going to buy it on PC. The PC people who've not played this game on PC are going to love this game, but the Xbox people who might buy this on PC have other shit to play. They may get it, they may pick it up for the $60 or whatever it is, just to play the extremists, Halo extremists that have PCs may get this game. But I'm not upset about that. I'm not a huge PC gamer like that. I suck at mouse and keyboard anyway. That's just me. But I think it will sell well on the Steam store. I think it will sell pretty shitty on the Xbox store. And I think the people that are playing Xbox should be happy they don't have to play with the people playing on PC.
Yeah. I mean, it has that effect, right? Putting it on Steam eliminates the crossplay. Yep.
Yeah, and I think maybe going forward they may end up giving you that game that you didn't get. Which was it? Was it
Reach?
ODST or was it Reach?
No, Reach. No, that is coming. That is coming, right, Assassin? Am I right on that? On the MCC, it's coming for free?
No.
Yeah, what do you mean no?
The multiplayer for Reach is free. The campaign and firefight is
right. Okay. Gotcha.
See, and that hurts me a little bit because I feel like being a day one supporter of this, and I didn't even like Halo that much, but I got it anyway. I feel like, why should I have to spend another $20 if I want to experience that campaign? You know, and then there's people out there who be like, oh, well, you can just play it on 360, buy the disc for $5. I get that, but it's just not the same experience on Xbox One with your friends.
Mm-hmm. That's where go ahead, Clowns. Go ahead, bud.
Sorry, but to back Predator up on the Steam thing, I was a big doubter of this, right? In front of, like, I didn't think it was going to do well on PC. Mm-hmm. Well, I went on GBA Temp, and there's, like, comment after comment, like 34 to 50 comments of all these PC players super excited to get it on Steam. Yep. And I was really surprised to see that. I think you guys hit the nail on the head on this. I think it's going to do really well on Steam now after seeing that feedback.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, they knew that Steam was going to be the bread and butter. I mean, like Pred was kind of saying earlier, the Windows Store is like such a joke when it comes to putting stuff on there that's exclusive for PC gaming. Like, people don't go to the Windows Store. Like, you know, the Epic Game Store, that thing came out, people were fine going to that and buying their games, you know, because that's like a good marketplace. Even with like Battle.net, you know, for a little while there, like the Call of Duty games were on Battle.net, and, you know, obviously Overwatch and League of Legends and World of Warcraft, and obviously the Blizzard games are on there. People were fine with downloading those, but when it came to the Windows Store, people just, you know, it's already installed on your PC, and people still didn't want to go there to buy games just because of how crappy it is. The auto updates suck, if even existent in some cases. It's difficult to auto update your games. Like, it's nonsense. So I think they kind of realized that at this point. And Steam is really where it's going to do well. And, you know, I just think it sucks the Play Anywhere thing, because I was planning on just checking it out on PC, seeing, you know, the faster frame rates and stuff. I have a monitor that does, like, you know, 144 frames per second. So I would have liked to see that, to see what it would look like. But, I mean, it already plays so well on Xbox anyway. It's kind of like, okay, you know, how much better was it going to get? Probably not much anyway. So it's probably fine that it's not Play Anywhere. But it did sting initially.
Yeah.
But like some of these other features that are kind of cool, like the custom game browser on PC, obviously, like the ultra wide options, the field of view, all that kind of stuff you'd expect on a PC game. It's going to cater to all that stuff. So it's going to feel like a real PC experience for these guys on Steam that are going to really enjoy it. It's not going to feel like just a port, which I think is going to make it even do better. But
it just sucks that all the games are coming out, you know, every few months, right? And not just one bundle.
Yes, yeah. What is it, like $10 a game or something they were saying?
I don't know.
Maybe they didn't actually say it, but I think I
make that money, man.
Yep.
Make that money.
Episodic, baby. Well, that's kind of cool too, because, you know, I know a lot of people who say, you know, Halo 4 is trash or Halo ODST is trash. So, you know, they'll just buy the ones they want to buy, but they'll actually, you know, buy it, you know? Like, say, for instance, somebody didn't like Halo 3 through Reach, right? And they would just wanted to buy Halo 1 and 2. Like, you can do that. So, you know, maybe they'll bundle them all together and offer them as, like, a bundled price. You can pre-order or something like that. But I agree with you on that, though. That it's kind of like the episodic release of it is kind of like annoying in that regard.
That just makes it more relevant over time.
Yeah,
keep in mind they gave this game away on Xbox when you bought one. You got the system, and like 2 games at one point in time you can pick up. So like it keeps Halo relevant. It keeps it in the news when they start doing these little small releases like this over time. So you know what they say. I'm a Cowboys fan, so they always say any bad news is good news. Like you're in the media, so it doesn't matter what's going on. People are talking about the Cowboys, and here's the same situation. They'll be talking about Halo every single time one of these drops. They'll be talking about Microsoft and Halo, so they'll stay in the news over the time this drops out.
True that. That is one big advantage of the episodic release thing. That's true. That is true. Their numbers are going to stay steady. I mean, look at some of these games that come out on Steam. Even like the game we're going to finish up the podcast with, Apex. Like, obviously, you know, it's still strong, but at the get-go, I mean, it was really, really strong. Same thing with like Fortnite and PUBG and games of that nature. You know, obviously a different kind of genre, but at the same point, like, look at these games that come out of the gate and they're super, super strong, and especially single-player games. Like even on PS4, that's had a lot of good single-player games during its life cycle. You know, the games come out and then, you know, a few months down the road, they're like irrelevant. You know, they want to stay relevant. So, Supersonic Station wants to say, why we got to pay Xbox games twice? If I own the license, I want to access it. I mean, I hear you on that, but the thing is that I agree with Pred on this, is that, you know, when you bought this 5 years ago or whatever, like the PC was like not even close to an option. Like if it came out and it was like coming later to PC, you know, if they said that right from the get-go and then they did this and it wasn't included as Play Anywhere, I would be more pissed. Like that would be something to really get pissed about, I think.
Well, in all fairness to all the people like me who are upset they spent $60 on this game when it was broken.
Yep.
Back then, you couldn't really get refunds, right? So you buy a mop or something from Target and it breaks, you can take it back, get your money back. Walmart, same thing. Kmart, what's left, same thing. But you couldn't do that with Master Chief Collection, and I should have been able to do that. And I wasn't. So I am a little disappointed.
Did you try?
Yes, I screamed at them. They already gave me back Battlefield 4 season pass because that was so buggy.
Yeah, I got my Battlefield 4 money back too. I didn't get Master Chief Collection money back on that, but I've never had a problem getting a refund. But I don't know if I'm just a smooth talker or what. But anytime I've had a shitty game on Xbox, I just say, hey, I get in the chat. I tell them what's going on. They're like, all right, give us a minute. We'll refund it to you. And next thing you know,
yeah, but that's before the support went to utter shit.
What was the last game I refunded? Shit, I can't remember. It's been a while. I'm a smarter shopper now.
Nice. We'll end on this. Supersonic Station says in the chat, and we kind of touched on it a little bit and totally agree with you. Play Anywhere, another broken promise. I mean, yeah, Play Anywhere did not work out as well as they thought, and it didn't work out as well as gamers thought either, to be honest. Like how good of an idea did that sound? Like, you know, without the support, it's nothing, right?
Because the Windows Store sucked.
Yeah, it's the Windows Store's fault, really. It really is. I mean, what third parties want to be on the Windows Store as a Play Anywhere when they can just go on Steam or Epic Games and make a ton of money? Like, it doesn't make any sense. But yeah, anyway, so let's move on. Last topic of the podcast before we get back onto Division. I see Pred already readying up over there. Apex Legends, right? We were all playing this a few weeks ago, a month ago at this point. When did this game come out? Beginning of February, right?
Yeah, a few weeks before
Anthem, right?
Anthem.
Yeah. Yep. A couple weeks before Anthem, this game came out. I mean, they're already pushing out this Season 1 update. Lots of patches, lots of bug fixes, adjustment to weapon balancing and stuff like that. But
breaking news.
Yes.
Real quick on Apex Legends.
Yes.
Earns $92 million in the first month.
See, I mean, that's huge, man. That's huge. Hopefully they use that to really shove it to Fortnite, because honestly, Fortnite needs a competitor like this.
Thanks, you know what I mean? Vogel, for sharing that information.
Where did he say? I missed that in the chat.
He
Sweet.
posted it on Twitter.
Oh, on Twitter. Okay, got it. But yeah, season's out. I mean, a new character with some pretty cool maneuvers with the stim and the high jumping and stuff like that. We'll show a video here in a second of Octane, the new legend you can play as. Also some like new skins, and the battle pass mechanic that you're all familiar with on Fortnite is now in Apex. So you can level up through the leveling up ladder, if you will, and get to the next. I don't know what the max level is, but obviously you have something to play for now, other than pride at this point. So what do you guys think? Is this going to get you back into the game? Are you encouraged by it? Like, what do you guys think on it? Predator's over there like wildly swinging his head. What do you think, Pred?
I didn't like Apex that much, to be honest with you.
Really?
I played with you guys and a couple of times, but I don't know. I just couldn't get into the game. Like I like Call of Duty's version, a little bit more.
Yes.
And then once Anthem came out, I haven't thought twice about Apex, to be honest with you.
Really?
Well, I got good news for you, Pred. I heard, and I think somebody confirmed this for me, that the next Call of Duty will not have a Battle Royale.
No, he said he likes the Call of Duty one, so that would be bad news for him.
Sorry, Pred, bad news for you.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't think I was going to enjoy it initially when I heard it was just going to be Battle Royale. When I got into it with you guys, I played with you guys. I actually started to love that game, but I just could not get into Apex for whatever reason. And I tried it out. I just, I'm not going to sit over and say I don't like a game unless I play it. But I played it. I didn't like it. And that's my stance on it going forward.
Well, Pred, if you ever feel like you need just to win at it a few times, D Bizzle never loses. D Bizzle and his buddy Finn get like 10, 15 kills a game. I don't know how they do it, but they do it.
They're good, I guess. I'll stick with the division for the next couple of months till Rage comes out.
Dude, I'm like, look at Assassin is always the one to kind of bring my attention to like some of these streamers that are incredible at Battle Royale games, like Shroud and stuff. Like, obviously I knew those guys existed. I've watched them before, but like those guys getting like 30 kills a match, I'm just like, what are you doing, man? Like,
Crazy.
What are you, especially in Apex? Like, I cannot get that. I mean, you can drop people kind of quick in Apex, but not nearly as quick as like Call of Duty, I feel, or like maybe not Fortnite too. It takes a little while, but Apex, like with some of the guns, dude. I mean, I haven't played in a little while, and maybe this update will have fixed it. But I mean, damn, like it really can take a while to drop a guy, and these guys are getting like 30 kills.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I think that's set up for them. Sorry, I just think there's a conspiracy behind it.
Wow. Assassin, what do you think, man? I mean, I know you've had your qualms about the game, but we always, with you, are always considering about the color blindness and stuff, and it looks like they may have addressed that with this update. So,
no, I looked the other day. They did not. Like, so
they say they
when
did.
You go to the colorblind options, right? They give you now all the things that changed, and literally it's blue, 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 but different shades of blue. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, it's blue. And, like, I still can't tell the difference between, like, certain shades of blue. And, like, I didn't play a match, so I don't know about the little tick thing.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, I'm not going to waste my time with shades of blue for, it's so annoying. As for the battle pass or whatever, like I looked at some of them. I watched some YouTubers like talk about it and stuff, and like it doesn't, like, nothing in it looks interesting. Like, you go to Fortnite's battle pass, and some of it, or most of it, is not interesting, but then you get some skins and stuff that look pretty good. Here, it just looks all right. Like, there's nothing like, yeah, I need to get this now, right?
Yeah, but it's tough for a game like this to focus on like really creative and cool skins when you can't even see your character. You know what I mean?
And I get that, and some of it, like, no like trails like you can get in like Fortnite or now in Blackout, or you can get different things, or there's no parachutes and stuff. So I feel like maybe later in the game cycle the creativity will get better, but for now it's just boring.
Mm-hmm. I mean, a new character though, new legend already. I mean, look at Overwatch. Overwatch has gotten a ton of new characters since it's released, and now, 1 month into the game, we're getting a new legend on Apex. Like I think that's promising.
Supposedly, that character, what I've heard, someone data mined the game like within like the first 3 days.
No, I know it was already there.
It was already there.
No, I know. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's kind of shitty on them for doing that, but like, the fact that they even have a character already out, or who knows what they already have planned in the pipeline for characters. I mean, they've already kind of laid out their map a little bit, but who knows, like, in the interim, what we're going to get for characters and stuff like that. Like, I think the fact that we're getting a legend already, and that, they're already starting on a good foot on releasing legends in a timely manner, I think that's going to keep the game fresh. I think, obviously in Fortnite, you don't have to deal with that because you don't select a legend or a character. You just are who you are, essentially. And same thing with Call of Duty, too, or with PUBG. I mean, this is really the only Battle Royale where you get to select a character with its own unique abilities. So, I mean, they may be focusing on that versus, cool skins and stuff. What the hell did Pred just drop in the chat right now?
It's a code for Assassin's Creed movie.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't going to use this. Been sitting in my damn Xbox Live message account for a couple of weeks now, so somebody can have that if they want it.
Ooh, somebody take that. Somebody take that code. Clowns, what do you think, man? Are you gonna get back into Apex? Do you want to try out this Octane character? Like, what are you thinking?
I think it looks kind of cool. I just wish he didn't have jump launch pads. I think that's going to be kind of cheap because now everybody's going to run with a launch pad. Mm-hmm. But, I'm going to be honest with you. I liked Apex Legends. I thought it was great for a free-to-play game. I liked the fact that I could put time into the game and unlock the characters in a reasonable amount of playthroughs. So I thought, hey, why not? It's a great game. And, I got the starter pack, and also I won another starter pack from Mixer. So
nice.
I think the game is pretty cool.
Nice. Oh yeah, Andrew reminded me. Andrew Halstead in the chat. We know him as Andy. Said Inferno code giveaway next stream for that game I got. Yeah, so we're gonna have a sponsored giveaway of a game. We'll let you guys know closer to the next podcast what that is. I totally forgot about that, but that's nice of you to give that game away for us, so thank you on that. But back to Apex. I mean, I know you say that it's not cool stuff, Assassin, but it is content, It's not like they're
I get that it's content, but it's like, do you really want shit content or you just want content?
Well, I mean, do you agree with Clowns that this character is cheap and that, it's not even the character isn't cool, or what do you think?
Oh, I think it's just going to be annoying having people jump super far up in the air and over you and not even know it. But I mean, it's going to get bad when they start running out of ideas, and then they're going to make characters that are just god awful OP or just stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, there is a sense of what Assassin's saying there. Like, you don't want them to release a whole bunch of OP characters in some areas and there's nothing to counterbalance it. At least with Overwatch, and as much as I dislike that game at this point in time, wish it burned in the bushes or thrown in the bushes, as IOP would say, they do have characters that can counterbalance each other. So I think that could be a challenge for Apex Legends to come up with a plan for that.
Yeah, and I mean, something tells me that the plan is already devised. I feel like that if I can give Apex some credit when it comes to it competing in the genre, I feel like that this is something that they've dedicated, that Respawn has kind of dedicated themselves to, and it's not just a tacked on thing in the interim until they can figure out what to do with Titanfall 3. You know what I mean? I think that they have put a lot of effort into this, and I think that it's just, obviously taken the world by storm a little bit when it felt like that the Battle Royale genre was kind of cluttered. But like, I think it is planned out. I think, you know, for all intents and purposes, I think Respawn has a good plan. You know, I think what Assassin's saying is kind of maybe true in the fact that they need like better stuff to make it look appealing. But it'll be interesting to see how many people buy this, like right from the get-go.
I know our friend Legendary Yeti 400, aka 460, will buy this.
Dude, he'll never live that down, right? The $460 spent on microtransactions, right?
It's crazy.
Call of Duty, no, it's the Battlefield Battle Royale.
Oh, Battlefield, that's what I meant to write.
Yeah, Battlefield Battle Royale.
That comes out Friday, right?
Monday. Assassin can't wait. Assassin's like licking his lips over there. He's sending me DMs with like every tweet about it being like, "Don't lie, this looks good." Like, you know, this looks good.
No, not every tweet. I sent you the gameplay that they put out today. I'm like, don't lie, this looks good.
Yeah, and then when the other trailer came out last week, like 10 seconds after they dropped the tweet, it was in my DMs from you. You know it. Supersonic Station says he loves Overwatch still, clowns. There's a lot of people that play Overwatch still.
That's okay. It's slowly dying out.
Wow. You're ridiculous. You are ridiculous. I mean, other than that, I don't know what to say. I mean, there's no new map or anything, so I guess I'll have to jump in and check out what the weapon balancing is like, because that's the reason I left the game in the first place, was the weapon balancing I thought was pretty poor. I mean, the wingman was really strong, but the peacekeeper or whatever was extremely strong.
That got nerfed.
Yeah, a while ago, I know. But I think they nerfed it again. I'll have to check the patch notes again, but I think they nerfed it again.
We have a breaking news update from Andrew Halstead in the chat.
Yes.
It's 580 Yeti.
Oh, excuse me.
It's definitely way more than that now, with how much he spends on BO4.
Nice. Nice. All right, and I think with that, we are done. I mean, that did not feel like an hour and 50-minute long podcast, but I guess it was. But anyway, good discussion here, folks. Predator, thanks for joining us this week on the podcast. Really appreciate it, especially all that Division 2 knowledge. I know, like, you've got it in the background ready to go already. But hold on, let me throw up here the vote for Pred. Where is it? Where did it go? Where did it go? I don't know where it is. But yeah, while you're talking, why don't you, give us a little shout out here where we can find you and what you do on the internet. We want to be seen, if you will.
Predator_H2OS pretty much everywhere on Xbox Live, PlayStation, on Steam. We're on the next podcast on Saturdays at about 6 Central Time. And vote for Pred. You can find me pretty much on everybody's podcast. This is the first time on this podcast, but I'm pretty much everywhere. I was on Xbox Nation Wednesday. Nice. I appear pretty much everywhere. So just follow me on Twitter, and you'll figure out where I'm at.
Excellent. Yeah, everybody vote for Pred this week. Gonna get Pred a win on next podcast, which is Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern, usually. So go check that out. Another great podcast. We had Xbot on last week, so who knows? Maybe we'll continue the next podcast streak and get somebody else from Next on. But appreciate everybody that was in the chat this week. If you haven't already, obviously subscribe to YouTube for more content, more podcasts. Look us up on all the other podcast networks like Spotify, iTunes, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, all that kind of stuff. Our individual Twitters have been cycling below our faces here, so follow us on Twitter and follow the main 4GwQ's Twitter, which is 4GwQPodcast, if you aren't already. And other than that, clowns, what are we gonna be doing for the variant podcast, my friend? We got another one coming up soon, or what are we thinking?
Yeah, so here's what I'm gonna do. Unfortunately, my co-host has a child and things happen. So
man, those children, damn it.
Damn kids.
Yep.
But No, I hope everything goes all right and he gets better. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably do a few reviews and pop them out on the Variant channel. And I'm still working on interviews in the background, which is gonna happen. But I'm just not gonna do them without my co-host.
True. All right, cool. So we'll look out for that. Also on our YouTube channel. So, obviously subscribe for that as well. And Assassin, what do you got going on this week? You gonna be streaming?
Yeah, I'm streaming some more Division 2 tomorrow on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/GPCIA_assassin. So follow me there to get notified. And then I'll be playing some more of those Division 2 videos on YouTube.
Nice, cool.
GPCIA Assassin.
So whenever Assassin streams and I play with him, he's always like, dude, you gotta, I'm trying to keep my YouTube professional, let's keep it like PG-13 or whatever. And then I'm like, all right, yeah, totally fine. Like, I'll keep it to a minimum, whatever. And then all of a sudden we'll be playing like a hard boss, like on Halo or whatever. And I'll be like, fucking this and fucking that. And I'll be like, dude, what did you just tell me? Like, what the hell? Like,
I'm trying to keep my swears
to a minimum,
a little bit down. And it's hard because I swear it just comes out. Like, I'll have a conversation with my cousins or like 9 and I'll just start swearing. I'm like,
dude, that's emotion. That's emotion, man. That's emotion coming out, bro. That's what it is. So I can appreciate it. I can dig it. But so check out Assassin's Stream as well. Next week, podcast is really going to be dicey for the main podcast because I'm going to be at PAX next week. But we'll try to make it happen at some point. It probably won't be at 5:30 though. I will let you know at the time on that. But until then, we will see you guys later. Peace.
Later.